First, Corey Holcomb, Anton Daniels. I think they both made a fool of themselves. Rule number one, you never let a man, for all the men out there, you never let a man aggressively speak over you while you're sitting down. That is an invitation to a lost fight. If you want to lose a fight, no matter how much you think you can take that man, keep your butt in that seat while somebody stands over you and talks in your face aggressively. All right. Rule number two, and this is actually a rule that I follow myself because I know how I can get. If you can't take it, don't you dare dish it. If you can't take it, don't you dare dish it. Corey Holcomb first started with the disrespect by telling Anton, you kiss white people's backside. Anton, in the very next sentence, says, well, U.S. the black community's D. And that's what set Corey Holcomb off. That right there shows to me Corey Holcomb, and both of them are wrong. My position is both of them look crazy. But right now with Corey Holcomb, that shows an inability to regulate your emotions. All right. It'd be one thing if you had set your boundaries ahead of time, or even if you didn't provoke that man to rebut you. You can't control how somebody's reacting to your disrespect. If someone slaps you in the face and you punch them, the person that slapped you first is still wrong. Meaning Corey gave him a little slap. Oh, you kiss white people backside. Then Anton pretty much punched him in the face. So if you know how you would react, this is a rule that I've always, I'm scared to put myself in a position to where you get taken away from your family, put myself in a position where I got to go back and forth to court. Lord knows I've been there, done that, and it's not fun at all. And most people on this planet isn't worth it. Your pride sometimes is. So to protect yourself, you got to not wreck yourself. That's rule number one. There's certain things, no matter how angry I get, I will never say to somebody unless I'm trying to prove. Actually, no, because I would never do that. Like there's certain, like I would never talk about somebody's deads. That's probably the only thing, because I know if somebody did that to me, I know what my reaction would be. And so to protect not even that person, to protect my peace, because I know how far I would take it, I don't put myself in that position. Like I'm more scared of myself and what the damage I would do to myself if I invited that type of a scenario into my life. So Corey Holcomb, his red line is S&D. That's like an old school thing. People, the old school had, I thought when I was a kid, when I used to hear people say, because, I'm from the East Coast, you know what I mean? So people say that all the time. I used to think I never say that. You know what I mean? Like I used to think that's like, yo, that's homosexual, bro. Like I looked at it for what it was. You know what I mean? Pause. I never ever say that because I just feel weird saying that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a real insult. Like, kiss my ass is a bet. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, kiss the shit on, like, I don't know. But regardless, though, these are the things that you don't do if you can't take it, don't you dare dish it. All right? Now, on Anton's part, let's talk about where he failed as a man as well in this situation. Now, a lot of people are giving him props for saying, let's go outside. He got up from his seat. He said, let's go out back, right? Okay, cool. Corey Holcomb sat back down. But you want to know where Anton messed up? He came back into the room. You don't do that. When a man has already shown you that he's ready to get physical, when a man has already shown you he's ready to take it to another level, you don't in the same breath come back at the same time. You got to let things simmer down. You don't come back and sit back down in that man's face, in that man's house. That's not how life works. That's another invitation to being a loser in a fight. And as a man, you got to protect yourself from yourself, and you got to protect yourself at all times. It doesn't get more obvious than a man standing over you, daring you to repeat something. And then after that, you mean to tell me 15 minutes later, you guys kumbaya'd it, and now you feel comfortable being in this man's face? The tension has not had enough time to simmer down. Time has not had the ability to heal these wounds. Yeah, you think you piecing it up and, whatever. We're going to dap it up. Y'all set your boundaries, and then look what happened. At the very end of the podcast, those boundaries was crossed again. All right. And then it took, if anything, Corey took it even further by calling Anton's wife a bitch. Okay. He said, go over there with your security and your bitch. I'm assuming he was there with his wife. You understand? So now you've invited disrespect to your family. You've invited disrespect to yourself. If once you saw that man didn't want to fight, it was time for you to walk out that door. It was time for you to leave. And he would have gotten more respect because everybody would have just said, oh, Corey challenged you. Corey said we can go out. No, not Corey. Anton said we can go out back, and you didn't do anything, so he left. He would have had more respect. But instead, now you look, he's still, in my opinion, even though both of them failed at an example of showing how men should move in tight situations, tense situations, although I feel both of them failed, Anton still inched it a little bit more. Not in terms of failure. Like, he looked, in my opinion, and I rock with Corey, but Corey got up out of his seat. He switched seats with a woman and let it be known he was ready to get physical. All right. That man was still in your face, and he invited you to a fight. Now, if you don't take him up on that fight, if you don't go outside and actually do what you said you was going to do, which I'm not saying that you should, but the fact that you invited that energy, and when that energy was received with open arms, you decided to back down from that energy. No matter how loud you get, nothing's louder than these. You understand? No matter how loud, no matter how gangster, no matter how tough you talk, these right here speaks louder than words. And Corey made it well known that he was ready to use these. Anton welcomed that with open arms, and nothing was done about it. So you take a loss off of the strength that now, one, people think they're going to be able to play with you. Two, One, people think they're going to be able to play with you. Two, showing that you just woofing, or at the bare minimum, you're the type of bully that only picks fights with people that you know will cower down. And that's the worst type of bully ever. I say this all the time on YouTube because I was one of the, I tried to be a little tough kid in high school, but I always remember countless times where bullies would pick on the nerds. And it's not like I'd get in their faces, but I'd be like, you're not doing that around me. You know what I mean? You're not doing. Ever since a boy, I've never found any respect for people pick fights with like, for example, actually, this just happened the other day. Somebody cut me off. It was a traffic incident, and it was egregious. And I was upset. I got a lot going on in my life right now, man. I'm going through it right now. So I'm on edge in general. And somebody cut me off, and I remember rolling down my window, ready to be like, yo, what the hell's wrong with you? Da-da-da-da. And you know what that man said to me? He said, and he was an older dude too. He said, I'm sorry. He said it just like that too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then that's when I literally stopped in my tracks. And I said to him, all right, you got it. But when I rolled my window up and I started to drive away, I felt like a POS, man. I felt horrible. I felt horrible inside. I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't even need to come at him like that. You know what I mean? A weaker man would have been like, yeah, you bitch ass nigga, da-da-da-da, and just get at him even more. But a real man understands that if that person doesn't want confrontation, if that person's not ready to receive you with the same energy, you don't need to beat down on that man any further than he's already submitted to you. You don't need to do that. And people who do that, those are the weakest of the bunch. And you're gonna fool yourself into, and Corey probably's like that. Corey's probably had enough people back down in situations to where he feels as if everybody's gonna do that. And that's not how things work. And then when somebody receives your invitation to a fight with open arms, now you stuck. Now you don't know what to do. Now you looking softer than ever. Okay? So, you know, that's how I feel about the situation, regardless of whatever your political viewpoints are, regardless of who you subscribe to the most, Corey or Anton. There's lessons that all men can learn from what just happened in that situation, in that scenario. That's something that we gotta know when to walk away, and we gotta know when to throw them hands, or at least be ready to. Never in your life let a man, anytime you're in an argument with a man, if he doesn't even need to be over you. Mind you, Corey was hovering over Anton like, what are you gonna do? Whenever you get into an argument with a man, as soon as one of you stands up, that right there means both of you need to stand up. Either you need to stand up and walk away, or you need to stand up and be prepared for whatever comes your way. You need to stand up and walk away, or you need to stand up and be prepared for whatever comes your way. And that's the real deal Holyfield, man, straight up and down. You know what I mean? These are the lessons that you need to learn, all right? So now we're going to switch topics. Let's move on, because, you know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Make sure you like and subscribe at the same damn time. You understand? Remember, you can catch this uninterrupted, become a member, get the full live stream without any interruptions, or just stick around, hit all notifications, so that way when I go live, you in the building as well. All right, so let's talk about Mr. Tendonism.